Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of OilTown here in City Skylines 2, where last episode we made some dramatic progress in terms of making the island profitable. We're at the point right now where we actually think we are making money, but I want to get to the point where we are consistently making money where we never ever losing any cash on the hourly basis. And what I had to do was last episode build an external port to allow people to enter the region via vehicle to get onto a ferry to go all the way to OilTown. Now, it works. It's brought so many more people to the island, and all I've really done is kind of replicated what they would normally do in a far, far away land. They would normally use another harbour to get on a ferry, then enter the region. I've just kind of took it in my own hands to kind of pay for the harbour. Now, I have tried, a lot of you guys suggested to do this with cargo. I have tried adding a cargo harbour in off camera between episodes and building a road. They do not use it. It's kind of weird. They will not drive cargo vehicles in, load up on the cargo ship, and then cargo in the cargo goods to get off at the cargo harbour, and then drive. So, as of right now, unless I build a road that connects to the edge of the region via the island, I'm not getting any cargo vehicles, and I don't think I'm going to get any passenger vehicles because of that. Now, before you say, Sonny, I could build a road, connect it. No, that's not the point of this series. It's an isolated island, you damn fools. But a lot of you guys suggested maybe building the car factory, the vehicle factory, which would allow them to produce their own vehicles. But I'm going to say this right now, I don't think that's going to work. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say, guys, we've got some big plans today. We're going to do some big expansions and make some serious cash money moolah. We are actually turning a profit right now, so which is pretty good. So hopefully we can capitalize on all of this. But this is where it now all begins. If you are enjoying the series, please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Don't rely on the recommended tab, guys. Subscribe. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the issues in a minute, and we're going to talk about you guys have been commenting on the last video as well and some improvements. We'll talk about those in just a second. What I want to first kind of talk about is, now that we are somewhat making money, it all pretty much depends. It depends on when they get on the ship and sell some tickets. It depends what's going on here. It all depends. Now, what I want to do while we are now on the cusp of trying to make some money is I want to take a look at fixing some of the major issues. Now, one of the big issues that we're going to have, which is only going to get worse, is the air pollution. Now, foolish of me, I can't even think of the word right now. I decided to build everything downwind where everyone lives. I know, it's hilarious. But I've also since discovered that the oil farms, wow, as we would call them, the zoned industry where we can kind of create the specialization, they only pollute pollution from where the actual building is. So, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to flip all of these ones here, where their main building is on this side of the road, so the pollution's pushed further back a bit, which will hopefully alleviate the wind blowing the pollution in here. But also, the normal zoned industry, which is now only producing goods from the oil industry because we tax them really high and everything else, and these factories up here, which are very, very high polluters, we're going to buy some land over here, and we're going to bend this road down and build a little mini industrial area here for factories, warehouses, and zoned industry. So hopefully that then kind of then stops this wind blowing it in. It's only going to get worse as we continue. It's one way to save it, but also give us an actual designated area for our first industry, which is quite exciting. Easy for people to get to and from work. We can maybe implement some public transport. It's going to be glorious. So what I'm going to quickly do, I'm going to pause the game. And I'm hoping today, this episode, the snow finally disappears. So there's a couple of tiles you have to buy to kind of get it all. I'll just buy this one here. And then we'll kind of begin the zoning. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to build it a little bit differently. We're going to switch the layout of how the road's now going. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a 4-lane road, and I reckon, I mean, I could just pick a random spot like this and run it up like that. Let me see. Let me get it onto snap, but not to snap. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So if I went about, let's say there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete back to here. We're going to put a nice little bend on it, and then that is going to be our alignment for how we build all this area. So bringing you to there, so that is a 64 by a 64, and then that should run in. No issue. Well, I said it should run in, but it looks like it doesn't want to run in. What's going on here, boy? Right, straight in. There we go. So that's going to bend around there. We're going to kind of switch our kind of gridded method coming down here. And this is where we're going to start to build our industry. Now, we'll move it all on in a little while. But I want to talk about what you guys have been commenting in the last episode. So for those saying, Sonic, build a road to the edge. No, guys, we're not doing it. I'm not ruining the theme of this series. This is an isolated island, you damn fools. But like you guys said about the vehicles, about a vehicle factory, which really did spark my interest. Now, I think, this is my personal opinion, I think how the game works is every single vehicle, and when I say every single vehicle, I mean every single passenger vehicle and cargo vehicle. I'm not including the vehicles that spawn from buildings, such as like the garbage, the police station and the post office and the medical clinic. I'm not including those. I'm including ones that are just basically trucks for cargo, vehicles for passengers. Now, I have this feeling how the game works is they import them or they drive them in from outside the region and then they come into the city. Once they're in the city, then they're just used until they drive out. I feel like that's how it is. I don't feel like building a vehicle factory is going to do anything. I don't think they're going to be able to produce it to sell it. Now, we do have... I mean, did we have like a vehicle dealership? I'm sure we had something that looked kind of resembled it. I'm not quite sure. Yes, there we go. One there. Sells vehicles. But obviously, I don't think it works like that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we do have this turned off. We do have vehicles here. Now, we got this turned off. Even though it's turned off, it still gets used, which is really weird. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to build the vehicle factory like you guys suggested, just to see if it does anything. I have this sneaky suspicion it's just not going to do anything, but at least we can tick that off the list of things that we do. But if this doesn't work, then I truly believe the game simply works by bringing the vehicles into the city from outside of the region. Now, if that is the case, then we're not going to have any vehicles. That then adds a whole nother challenge to the island. So, let's get this pretty much all now rocking and rolling. So let me first build like a basic kind of setup, a layout, a grid, whatever you want to call it. I'm not too sure how far down we kind of do it. So what I could do is just like pick a random spot. I could pick a random spot. Let's just say, actually, an idea. That would go to... there, I believe, before it bends. That's a 144. Right, and then that would run down here, a 144. So I'm looking at here. Right, you might be thinking, what is he even doing right now? I've got an idea, guys. I've got an idea. Right, delete you. Delete you. That's a bit wonky, but don't worry about it just yet. Right, the whole thing's now wonky. Right, there. Delete, delete. Right, can I get this going straight, please? Right, what's going on here? Why is that all gone skew-if? That's the best way to pull it. Right, maybe this is not going to work the way I'm intending it to work. So we'll go here instead. Okay, that's now worked. So the idea was going to be so I can bend this in naturally and then we have a better kind of setup. So if that's going to work like that, we're going to bring this down by a 2, 2, 4 and then snap that directly in and then do the same on this side. So we're just going to build a basic layout that we can utilize to move the industry over to this area just to stop the air pollution kicking in. So there we go. Bam, bam, bam. Which will mean that I'm going to lose money as everything moves over. But once it's all built back up and running, we then should start making money all over again. So let's just keep it like that until I can buy more tiles. Now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to place down the zoning. So there's all the zoned industry. It is a lot more... Actually, no, it's about the same amount, isn't it? Which is now unfortunate because this is now all going to have to go. So we will take a hit in revenue. So put it back into play mode. I will take a hit in revenue until it can all be pushed over. Now, last episode, we figured out that if we change the zoning... Sorry, not the zoning, the taxation on the industries, and only kind of highly tax the stuff that we don't want them to produce, because obviously we have to build the industry based on the oil industry. That's the challenge, the scenario of this series. It turns out they don't have those buildings. They might build those buildings, but they'll eventually kind of go out of business. The building will be up for rent, and only businesses that fall within the comfortable tax bracket will rent those buildings. Now, we want to produce vehicles, so we're going to have to bring the vehicle one now down to 10%. Okay? Bring the vehicle one down to 10% so we can utilize our vehicle factory to kind of produce those goods. So what I'm liking is the fact that the industry is all zoning up right now. That is now all going. I'm going to have to move these three over, but let me first build the vehicle factory. I'm a bit concerned about how big that building is going to be. So here's the vehicle factory. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. I was not expecting it to be that big. Now, what I could do, I could use a little bit of anarchy. As long as you guys don't tell no one. I could use some anarchy right now just to kind of place that in just there. Right? I've thrown it in. I'll leave those buildings there for now. Because I think, yeah, they do pollute and it is blowing downwind, but I don't think it's enough to kind of push over this way. I think it's these ones are causing the most damage. But I've got this vehicle factory here anyway. It's already rented the building out, which is great. But like I said, I don't think it theoretically produces vehicles for people to buy. I don't think people buy cars in the game. I don't think it works like that. Like I said, I think they drive them in from outside of the region. And that's how we get vehicles in the city. That's how I truly think. That's how I truly feel. But I could be wrong. You just never know. You just never know. So we'll allow that to do what it's got to do. We've already almost got all that industry pretty much situated. Now, this is going to be the next pain, is flipping these round to the other side. So if I quickly pause and then delete, this is not good. But apparently we're getting stars. They're quite happy the fact that it's all been deleted. I don't know if that star was a good thing or not. But now we're going to put them all back in. But obviously we got to do it where the main building is facing all the way over here. So straight down, bam, bam. Next one. So it just moves the pollution to the opposite side of this square, which will then stop it from being pushed into the residential area. Now, the reason I'm doing all this is because now I've got a little bit of confidence behind me that we are pushing in the right direction and that we can make some money. Granted, we haven't put the game into play mode long enough today to see anybody or new people moving in, but I've already got a little bit of confidence. I don't know if you guys can tell right now that we can actually now start making some progression in the series. Right, get you all done. Okay, so it's reset them buildings. So like I said, it will go to the point where we now do, well, we will start losing money. But once I can start paying for stuff, I'll keep this harbor constantly on once I do start making a vast amount of cash. But right now, people are buying tickets. The fact that they're buying so many here means that a lot of people are moving out of the island, which is terrifying, isn't it? It is terrifying. Oh, there's a plane. Where did that plane go? I just seen a plane there. There it is. Right, let's have a little fast forward then. See if we can get back on track. A lot of employees over here as well. Oh, this also increases the oil deposits too, so that is a huge benefit for us. Now, these buildings are going to be empty, but the ones that do get rented out are something to do with the oil industry, okay? In some way or form, they produce something that relates to oil or of oil product. So that's pretty good for us. That will then increase, hopefully, a lot of residential growth, which it is doing because we're now starting to get a few residential buildings actually being built or upgraded, which is pretty cool. So these will take a while before they get back to where they originally were. But I'm hoping those few little changes there will be enough that we do start seeing a difference when it comes to the air pollution. Now, I know these buildings here, we're going to blow it down and round, but you can see with the way that the wind kind of goes, well, when you look at it, that pushes that way. This obviously pushes down here and bends around and down, which is why we're moving all that stuff down here. Hopefully, we're being a little bit more environmental friendly. That's never a word I thought I would use in this series, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Now, look at that. We're getting some high-density demand coming in right now. So, you might see the odd building or two now start to get built and grow. Actually, do I have any zoning for that right now? We actually don't have any more high-density zoning. So, I could go some high-density. We do have some low-density just there. So, putting the high-density right next door to it. Doesn't make much sense. But I'm taking the zoning when I can get it, okay? You gotta take it while you can, because you don't know how long it's gonna last. Get those people moved in as soon as we can. Right, so another cruise ship coming in, which has electronics on. And again, this harbor's turned off. So I still don't understand why the cargo can work and we can still import and export even though this building's turned off. Is that a bug of the game, you reckon? Because I'm able to save all that money. And still import and export by the looks of it. Right, anywho, so we should be producing quite a lot of vehicles now. And looking around, we've got our mail van, our garbage truck. There is no vehicles. So, a delivery van. Hold on! Have we just got a delivery van? Hold on! Now, is that a delivery van of this? Is that where it's come from? Yes, so vehicles in use. It's a delivery van of the harbour. So maybe that is where, because we don't have the cargo vehicles coming in, we have to utilise the harbour's vehicles. But I do have the building turned off. Now, I can extend the warehouse, but we already have storage that we're not filling, so there's no point extending the warehouse. Railway connection, there's no point. No point with the cranes. So maybe if I turn the building back on, we would then start seeing the vehicles being used. But like I said, I'm going to wait until I'm making a lot more money. We only seem to be making money right now when we sell tickets for people to get onto the passenger ferry. But right now, look at that. Oh my goodness, we got some big buildings being built. Oh my goodness me. That's a bit big. So we've got to see if we are consistently making money. If we're now making cash, we'll then start putting in some bigger investments. So I think the tide is turning, boys. I honestly feel like the tide is now starting to turn. It could be. No, back to losing money, so I don't think we're right there just yet. But we're not losing a lot, so I think we can be a bit confident in building a little bit more. Now, there is one service that I do not have in OilTown right now, and that is the fire and rescue. I have no fire coverage at all. Now, I can build you in, so I can place you right next door to the police station. It will... Oh, actually, no, I can't because of the anarchy. I could put it just here, though. Just there. And instantly, in my services, fire and rescue, half the budget to 50%. Because I'm trying to save some money. That's literally all I'm doing right now. Is trying to save the most amount of cash that I can. So that will provide some, not a lot of fire coverage, but it's enough to say that we do have some fire coverage. So yeah, we got a lot of health issues right now. Where is our little clinic? It's just here. Which it is completely maxed out with patients. It has 57 out of the 25 capacity. It's kind of crazy. Maybe we should increase our healthcare budget because it is something that is slightly having some issues. Right, I'll put it to 75% or 74. Right, I've increased it a bit more, so hopefully we can now get through the backlog a little bit easier. Who knows? Who knows? But that is becoming a little bit of an issue. I can't make money with you know, ill residents. I need them to be fighting fit so they can go to work and produce oil. Right, okay. Ship is on the way back in. 379 people on board. It looks like we got traffic jams over here. Oh, damn, we do. We do. We do have traffic jams. Now, there's a lot of people waiting here. Not a huge amount right now. But what is it all down to? Now, the vehicles driving out of the car park are people leaving the region. Oh, the queue is to get out of here, I think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay. Uh-oh. Sewage facility overload. Now, why is it overloaded? Is it because we're producing a lot more? Do I need to increase the water budget? So if I increase it by 10%, does that help out? It does. So now we're getting to the point where we are having to increase our budgets, but we've got a little bit of wiggle room still within them. So at the minute, we are okay. Right, okay. So now my demands are starting to grow, which is what I'm really happy about. Now, the double zoning for mixed is it a medium style density? I believe it is. So we'll just kind of go for the low, I mean, do I go high density business? I'm going to go medium again. Sorry, the low density business for commercial. Throw a little bit of that in right now. See how we get on. Now, we got some death care. There's some death care required over there. And we've got some low-density residential coming in. So I think there is room to kind of push this up and around. So that connects into there, which means this would connect into there. Which would mean this would connect into there. And then we're going to fill all this with the low density residential. There we go. Lots of growth. Happy days. Happy days. Now, I am going to think about building another little kind of residential area or kind of build something over on this side because it is a little bit flat over here, which is great, but also allows us to kind of not have the air pollution pumping itself. You know, it's upwind. This will be the nicer area. It kind of will be the nicer area. Now, revenue. We're so close. We've never been so close right now, but I'm having to increase my expenses slightly. We are getting more people moving to the island. We now have 447 people on that ship on the way in, and only 55 on the way out. So, is the tide turning? I don't know. I don't know. Have we produced more vehicles? I don't know. Is this producing any vehicles? Again, we ain't got a clue, boys. There is a vehicle there. What was that? It's a taxi. Right, I got slightly excited then for a second. No one's selling oh, what are you? Are you a taxi? Taxi. Right, I'm looking around. Taxi. Right, this was the... Oh. The vehicle dealership's gone out of business. We've got one here. But I don't think it works like that. I did have that feeling. I really feel like the game doesn't work like that. And I think I'm right. I think I'm actually right where to get passenger vehicles and cargo vehicles into your cities, they have to spawn outside the region and drive into your city via a road, and that's how you get them in. That's how I feel. Because I know it doesn't work with cargo ships, because I've tried it before this episode off camera. And the passengers, they're able to get in, but what you notice is they leave their vehicles over here. So they don't bring them with them. So those systems in City Skyline 2 inhibit you from being able to bring vehicles in if the area is completely isolated. It's interesting, isn't it? It really is interesting. Now, that's not to say that I won't bring them in. The only delivery vans that we are now seeing are ones that have kind of been utilised and come from the harbour here. We're using the harbour's vehicles, which is not the end of the world. It does then go to show us that we can use delivery trucks, but they have to be utilised from the harbour itself. Very interesting. It is very interesting, guys. It's nice to know how the game works, so you can kind of plan accordingly. Now, the money-wise, if we do check the... How do I view the budget, the balance? It's in our statistics down here. So, it has big drops when we spend money, but overall, we are making cash, okay? We are making cash in the long run. It only drops when I spend the money. So with that logic then, we could maybe start thinking about starting to grow a bit more, maybe reposition some stuff. So let's throw some additional upkeep in then with buying these tiles, which to buy all 4 of them, it's 150,000. Now we're buying it just for the sake of getting a little bit extra land, but I can then finalize this area. What I can place here should hopefully make enough money. Damn, that was expensive, wasn't it? That was very expensive. So let's see what we can pretty much do. Now, we've got this little perimeter road running round. If I was to kind of continue the zoning method, so let's say I went down by a 224 and then cut in. Right, and then I did another 224 and then cut in. Right, I'm just kind of working out where all this pretty much aligns. So if I brought this down to here, and then this wiggly bendy road, we're going to try and... Why is it not wiggling and bending? Is that a complex curve? It is. I got the wrong. I got the wrong bend on. I need the continuous. Let me delete this back. The snow's finally gone. Oh my goodness me! The snow's finally gone. Right. Let me continue this bend. Right, that runs into there. I'm kind of I want everything to run like accordingly and have all these little through routes. I might reposition this. But it depends on where the whole building's going to end. So if I was to move this, I could pull it right at the end there. And then just kind of like landscape slightly around it. So I could pull it, say, here. Right. I've got to do a little bit of terraining right now to make it work. Now, do we pay for terraining? No, we don't. It's not something that we pay for. Gonna bulk it out a little bit coming down here. Just go around the edge. Like that. And then we're gonna do some smoothing. So soften it. Let me reduce down the brush strength. That's a lot better. Just so it's not as harsh. Maybe bring it up a bit. Oh, a bit more down here. And how does that look? See, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. We've got to bring the road connecting down just there. So I could, in reality, kind of go around the edge of the building. How would this look? Oh, that fits there perfect. Right, now that makes me want to do a little bit more terraining. Right, hold on. Because we do have the medium road that is going to obviously end here. And there we go. We can kind of build all of our industry around it. So now this is where the fun begins, boys. Because now we can actually, you know, play the game. You know what I mean? We can now actually play the game. Alright, push it down a bit more. Alright, soften. There we go. And then the water eventually turn it into sand. So that's pretty good then. We've now repositioned it all. It's in a better position. I got more room to do industry zoning. And, oh, we got to smoothen this here, because that's gone a bit funky there, hasn't it? All right, there we go. There we go. So, can we reposition these large buildings down here as well? Now, the oil refinery, now, I don't have to put it down here, okay? It doesn't have to be within this area. But because of the way that the wind is pushing, it kind of makes sense just to get it out of this area to begin with. So, I can reposition again in the future. Now, an oil refinery, that could go right there, which is perfect. That's perfect going there, right? We've then got the chemical plant and the fuel plant. So, let me see where this could go. I could put the... Is this the chemical plant and the fuel? I think that's the fuel plant, isn't it? I can put it just there. So, I'm just, for now, just moving them out of the way. That's all I'm doing. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And then the chemical plant, move you. And I could kind of situate you within this region. I could get it just there. So, like I said, they're just out the way. But it gives me room down here right now to kind of grow. So we are going to extend the kind of industrial area. So bring that right down. No issues there, is there? No. Bring you directly through and up. And then we should be able to do the same thing. Okay, apparently not. Apparently not. Push you up. Connection in. No. Right, come on, you can do this, boy. Wow, it just went wonky on that last little bit. Sometimes you got to go directly through it, like this, to get it to work. And that has worked. So same with this. Go directly through it just to get our alignments all situated. And that's how we're now kind of transitioning over to this area. So we'll do this last one here, connecting directly through. Now, I've got to be careful I don't spend too much money, because money will disappear from my bank account very quickly. Now, I could move some of these. Like, I could move this now into this area to kind of fill the gap. So the industry kind of builds around it. But I might just move... It's a good job these buildings don't cost me anything. I might just move it to there so I can build some factories going around the sides. Right, very good, boys. Very good. Unless I put this right on the end. See, too many decisions now, isn't there? There's too many decisions. I can move this fuel plant here, though. I could put that on the end. Oh, too many decisions. I like it. I like dotting them around. It is pretty cool how we can dot them now around. Right, soften. Right, let's leave it like that. Okay, I'm doing too much. So industry-wise, we'll now zone this little area there with it. Let them build up as they pretty much want, which will now spark more growth. So, with all this stuff that we're now paying for, additionally, all these additional roads and whatnot, we've got to be able to earn some additional revenue. So allow it to come in. Oh, hello, we got a truck coming out right now, a semi-truck. Hold on. Where are you spawned from? And where are you going? You're going to the cargo harbour. We've got a semi-truck, boys. When's the last time we seen a semi-truck? A delivery van? Are you returned to... You're a different colour. I didn't realise they spawn in different colours. We've got a semi-truck. What are you? Oh, a police car. So, obviously, the delivery truck... Oh, we need more power. Okay. Right. I've got to think about the power situation now, right? We do. Now, I could increase the budget to produce more electricity, but also, I could also build... Okay, no, I can't. I can't afford to do... Actually, there's no such thing as an oil plant, is there? There's a gas one. Does the gas one use oil? Is that what it does? I don't know. Not coal, not geothermal, not nuclear, not solar. Right, we need some more wind turbines. Right, does that all now work? Are we now producing more power? Are you all going to stop complaining? The answer is yes. So yeah, what I'm thinking of is then... Oh, what are you? Oil trucks. Oh! They're spawning from the industry. So what I'm thinking is then... Oh, the semi-trucks and delivery vans and oil trucks, they're vehicles, right, of the harbour. Right. I get it. I get it now. So we are literally utilising vehicles of the harbour. So without this, we wouldn't have the vehicles that we're seeing. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, I still don't want to turn the building on because you're not really making that much cash. We are starting to make profit though, which is very, very important. And the air pollution should now be a lot better. So it's still here. We've got to wait for this red circle to now blow out and distinguish itself. But the main bit of pollution is no longer there. It's all now over here. So that's good for us. And once it's kind of moved, I'm going to start then building stuff over in this area. So I now do have the room to maybe build more of these. Because I bet you unemployment's really bad. It's 46% unemployment. Wow. We need more oil areas to build. We really do. We really do. But we are building more factories though, so they will provide a lot more jobs. You just got to wait. You have got to play the waiting game. And we also need to educate people a little bit more. So what's the main issues now then? Walking distance to elementary school. So basically what they're saying is, Cyniac, can we have a second elementary school? That stuff's going to be expensive though. I feel like, yeah, I'm making money, but not enough money just yet to go crazy. Not enough money just yet. So where can these roads extend into? So if I brought you to there and then implemented a bend here, so 45. Alright, it's going to be a 47 by 45. Still does the job. And then this one, we can snap into there. So if I go to about there, 39 by 40, still does the job. Oh, hold on. Why is that a bit funky? That whole road little turn there was funky, wasn't it? Alright, we'll do that instead. So that bends down into there, that bends round into there, and we should be able to do the same with this one. So bring you out to there. Right. And that's how we transition the grid to turning like a 45-degree angle almost. Not bad. Not bad. Then we have all this kind of area then we can kind of work with and build stuff within it. So it should work out pretty good. It should work out pretty good. We've got plenty of room still. Yeah. But this residential, that kind of low density residential demand is growing rapidly. So I think I might just kind of add the coverage in just there. But they'll instantly use it. I don't know whether they'll even use all of it. There might be, yeah, only half of it. But they're not happy about it because of the air pollution. So yeah, they don't like the air pollution going on there. They really don't. But they are complaining about walking to elementary school. So I could have to build a second one. Or the other side of it is, maybe it's time we build some public transport. Maybe that's what we build next episode is our first public transport line. But we've managed to turn it all round, guys. We've now managed to turn it all round. And when I'm not spending money, we're making money. So you could now argue and say OilTown has now finally become profitable. I think. I think he says. Yes, it has become profitable. That is a big jump right there right now because everyone's buying a ticket for the ferry. So ignore the big Skylines section. So in terms of taxation, then we are doing pretty well. I'm surprised how much we're earning from offices considering we've only got that amount of zoning in. That's pretty wild. But even though these are being hit by the air pollution, I'm going to leave them there because those icons will be indications when I know that the air pollution has now passed by and is going somewhere else. So that'll be like a little bit of a visual indicator for me. So I know what's going on. Right, what other issues has the city got? Walking distance, unreliable healthcare coverage, small homes, polluted air, unreliable internet, high water fees, high electricity fees. So the usual stuff. So is it fair to say that I now have the ability to start, reducing or increasing the budgets on some of this stuff? So healthcare, I'll put to 100%. Electricity, the service fees, they do not like it, but they almost pay for themselves. Same with the water, but I haven't really increased the water budget that much. So I've increased the healthcare fees. The budget for the healthcare. Education, maybe we can increase it to 100%. And I'll just do those two to begin with and just see how we get on. We'll see how we get on with it. Now, commercial's creeping back up right now, which is looking pretty good on my part. So the economy is definitely now growing. It is definitely now growing. And how is it going on over here? There is a huge queue. This ship's bringing 400 people in. So do you reckon it would be worth maybe having a additional connection to the edge of the region? Let's find out. They'll probably most likely park there as well. I want to see if they do or not. That will be interesting. But it might alleviate my traffic issues. And it might bring more people in faster. It all depends on where they're coming in too. Now, I've since figured out this car park business actually is a big loss because once they park their car in there, they never move it unless they come back out of the region. So I make all that money at the start from selling a parking ticket, and then there's no revenue after that because they're there for ages. So, bit of a scam car parks. You need them to kind of come in and out all the time. And that's what you need. But I think all I've done here now is just switched them from coming this way to coming this way. Because it's now the shorter route. But it's the shorter route, so more people coming in. Yeah, they are parking there, which is hilarious. But they're all also able to walk in. Because it's closer. I think, unless they're just getting out of the taxis there or something like that. I don't truly know. Right, we've got a bit of demand right now. And the demand we've got, we could build these mixed zone houses. So let's build our first mixed zone houses. Let's build some just here. So straight away they get built. We'll see what they're all about. I'm so glad the snow's finally gone. It felt like it was here for quite some time, didn't it? It did feel like it was here for a while. Do you reckon I've got enough money where I can turn this back on? Let's turn it on and see what happens. We've now gone to instantly losing money. It didn't last long. I want to see what this building's going to be like as well. Now, even this small bit of commercial that it would have built has not satisfied its demands. Right. This is very expensive to run and maintain this cargo harbour. We ain't losing that much, so we're kind of okay. We are kind of okay. And we've now got stuff getting on the ship. So, by the looks of it then, if you have it turned off, it can still import, but it can't export. Interesting. Very interesting. But you might now start seeing stuff happening, boys. Very good. Very good. So, they've stopped complaining about the air pollution. So, I'm assuming it's now, yeah, that big red patch is now moving down. And it's starting to look a little bit cleaner. I mean, I know these are going to hit it at some point. So, I'll have to get rid of those. But it's a lot better than what it was. That cargo ship's now exporting some goods. Very nice, very nice. And I think the tables have turned. We've now made OilTown profitable. Oh, I like how they've done the buildings here. The shapes of them. So, yeah. Not bad. Not bad, boys. Very impressed already. So they are now starting to want some higher demand. The elementary school is completely full. I can put an extension wing on it. Can I get it where it goes down the side? Just there. And a gymnasium, which is way too big. But they instantly fill that anyway. So it might be time that we start looking at, same with the school right now, larger schools. And that's what we're going to have to start looking at. And providing more education opportunities. Yes. Yes. Over 7,500 residents on the island right now. We could next episode push it to over 10,000, providing we get everything just right. Right, cargo ship has now exited. A new cargo ship is on the way in. That one's got concrete and paper on board, so we are importing lots of stuff. We've got 400 people waiting at that harbour right now as that ship heads back. And we've got up arrows for days. I'm loving it. Guys, we're back in business. We are back in business. If you have enjoyed this episode, please smash that like button down below. But now OilTown can truly grow. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.